Hello, my name is Fred Gruber. I am the co-founder and until recently served as executive director of the Michigan Children's Law Center. MCLC is a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization that represents abused and neglected children in the Wayne County Juvenile Court. That's located in Detroit, Michigan. Since we began operations in 2005, we have handled more than 25,000 cases and represented well over 40,000 children. I'm also a member of the Exchange Club of Lincoln Park and in 2011 served as its president. Some 12 years ago, MCLC and our Lincoln Park Exchange Club joined together to launch a program designed to recruit foster and adoptive parents for these vulnerable children. We recognize that the most important thing in a child's life is to find a safe, stable, nurturing, and loving home for these children when they can no longer safely remain with their parents. Sometimes these placements are temporary, in other cases, they're permanent. We know there is a critical shortage and critical need for foster parents. When asked to quantify that statement, I respond the same way every time. As long as there's one child who must spend one night at a social services office, we have a critical shortage. As long as there is one child who has to spend a week in a shelter, we have a critical shortage. And we know if there's one child who has to spend even a month in a residential facility, there is a critical shortage. And in that regard, we also know that these placements in residential facilities don't last for just a month. They're 2 months, 6 months, a year, several years, and in many cases, tragically, the entire remainder of one's childhood. There's also national data to indicate that this shortage is not just in Michigan, but nationwide. In 2016, a report came out which indicated that at that time there were some 435,000 children in foster care, and 50,000 of them were not in foster homes. There is a critical shortage. The program that we developed is pretty simple in format. We assemble a panel which consists of a jurist, a judge or a referee, licensing specialists, and foster and adoptive parents. Each talks about the need from his or her own perspective for foster homes. And in the case of the licensing specialists, they discuss the requirements to be licensed and also dispel the myths which keep a lot of people from applying for licensing. Myths like we have found that in the 12 years this program has been in operation, that we have been the catalyst for some 150 individuals and couples going on to become licensed. Now, let me make a couple of other points. We all know that the National Project for Exchange is child abuse prevention. And let me suggest to you that this program is a child abuse prevention program. Let me explain why. When children are removed from their biological homes, it's a traumatic event. But the removal is based upon adverse childhood experiences which they have suffered. And by that I mean emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect, physical neglect, witnessing domestic violence, household substance abuse, household mental illness, divorce, and household members who have been incarcerated. All of these are examples of adverse childhood experiences. So the hope is that by placing this child or these children in safe and suitable homes, that they will see what it's like to be raised in a positive environment with caring parents, with loving parents. And then we hope in turn, and the data proves this out, that these adverse childhood experiences have been transformed into positive childhood experiences, such that when these children are adults and become parents of their own, that they will raise their children in non-abusive environments. That's the connection. That's what makes this program a child abuse prevention program. One final point. As I mentioned earlier, I have been an exchangeite for several years. When I talk to my friends and colleagues about exchange and tell them all the wonderful things that we do, they're impressed with our mission, our overall mission, but they've never heard of exchange before. I think that these foster and adoptive parent forums are a vehicle to increasing memberships in various exchange clubs throughout the country. And I say this for the following reason. All of our programs are held at churches which have ministries or committees or just a general commitment to helping foster children lead better lives. And by linking them to exchange clubs located in those same communities, and by forming committees with members from both, there's this exchange of information. And through that exchange, those who have never heard of exchange before learn a lot about what we do for country, community, and children. And I think in time that this exchange of information, this communication between individuals, will lead to increased memberships in the various exchange clubs throughout this country. Thank you.